Now I will show you how the edit function works. Okay, in order to work with the edit function, then I will have to make another controller that will be edit, but I will have to show the particular single data in another form. Okay, suppose I want to edit this, so when I will click on edit, then this data will show in another form. So in order to do that, I am going to create another view, that is edit.blade.php. This is another view. I am going to copy the home codes into edit, and now I will not do a lot of things. I am going to remove those. For example, success message, no need. Here, in order to, instead of add student, I am going to write edit student, and this form, all students, I do not need to use in the edit form. So I am going to remove this complete row. In the student controller, I will have to show the single data. Okay, so I am going to call a function, public function edit, and which data I will edit. In order to edit a data, first I will have to work from the home page. Okay, here you see that there is a edit button. I will put here a link, that is edit route, and in the edit route I will pass a variable. If you want, you can pass variable from here. Remember that when you will call any name route, then in this parameter into route, this is edit, and after that you can just pass a variable. In this case, I am into a loop, that is item. You go to the table, you see that here the student has ID. So I will edit each particular student by ID. So I am going here to call it item ID. So each student has item ID. So in the edit route, this will pass as parameter. I am going to web.php. I am going to write here another code, route get, and this will be edit, and in edit I will pass an ID. I am going to copy this from here, in this case this way. Okay, this is edit, and this will be edit route. So this is edit route and passing the parameter using the ID. So edit route and passing parameter using the ID, and this will show just in a format on the URL, and this is the edit function that I will work here. So I will take the variable as ID this way. That means in the web route, you see that here is a ID, that is a dynamic value that comes here, and it will be passed into the edit function. Okay, so I am going to student controller. So I have one particular student ID. Now let's see what is the value of ID. I am going here, refresh. I am going to click on any edit. You see that ID equal to 2. I am going to another place, ID equal to 4. That means ID is coming here perfectly. Now I will update this data, but before update I will show this in the edit blade. I am going to show data, return view. If I call the edit, now what will happen? Go here, click on edit. You see that the edit page comes and edit student. Okay, so here the existing data will be automatically shown using the value field. So I have to pass the data in the edit page as I have ID. So using that ID, calling the student model, where I will take where ID equal to ID that comes here, and that I will take only one row, because using the ID I will get only one row as a value. So here I am going to call student single, a particular single student. And now I am going to pass it using compact to the view page. So student single. In the edit view page, here edit student, what I can do is I am going to remove this because this will be changed. So here instead of old, I will show here the single student name. Okay, all array information is into the single student, and from that particular row, I mean all row information. So all single row has a lot of fields, so I am going to show the name field data here. This way I am going to show the email field data here, email, and here instead of submit button I am going to put update button. Refresh, you see that the information comes here. I am going back to here. Now I am going to see this information. Click here, you see that Smith comes and Smith email comes here. Now I will update data. In order to update data, in the same way I will have to pass a route here, route, and here I am going to call suppose update route. Update route means if you see that when we send the form data, we receive that data using this request. In this case, similarly, we will do that public function update, and in update I will receive the request from the update form, request, and here I will also pass the ID. That means when I will just send information from this page to update data, I will need this ID, okay, because this information will be updated where ID equal to this. So in the update I will pass the student single ID as parameter. That means in the update I am passing the ID as parameter, student ID, again from this place to this function. So I will have to receive that using the ID. Now go into web.php, and here I will have to declare a post route, and this will be update, and as I have passed the ID, I am going to write ID here, then student controller class, then here update function, and the route name is update. That means when I am calling this route and passing this ID parameter, from here calling this update route and passing ID parameter, then it will come here. See that what is now coming, request input. I am going to check what is coming, refresh. Here suppose I am going to change this way, update. You see that the update information is coming without any problem. So this is okay. Now I will update my data. But if you want to do the validation, you can copy the same validation code here this way, and then the validation will be happened. Now I will update data. In order to update data, first I am going to call model where ID equal to the ID which comes here in this form, this ID, okay, this ID here, and then first I will get one data, and this I will be saved into the student variable. So here I am placing all the information from the student table where ID equal to this ID that I want to update. Now I am going to change the data, student name equal to that is coming that using the request that actually we used here, these two line I am going to copy, and the same line here, the request name, request email, and placing those into the student name and student email. And now I will update the student update. Instead of using the student save, I am going to use just student update. Now the same code I am going to copy. Here I will show a success message. If it is updated, data is changed, updated successfully. And when data will be updated successfully, it will return back to the home page. Now refresh. Suppose Smith double on. First I am going here, we see that Smith only, so I am going to change the name and email address, update. You see that data is updated successfully and the values are changed into the table, and that is showing in this place. Here go refresh, we see that the update is successful. And if you go to updated data and blank this, you see that the error message comes without any problem like before. Okay, so in this way the update is working without any problem.